In this video, I'm going to test your knowledge of classic Doctor Who by asking you 25 questions from this somewhat eccentric quiz book from 1981. And then at the very end, I'm going to give you a chance to win this very same copy of the book, plus a signed copy of my novel. Let's do it now. Hello Brigadier, I'm Jason Arnott. If you're new here, you might want to hit subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from me about Doctor Who, old school VHS, video games and other retro flavoured nonsense. So I've chosen 25 questions from this quiz book by Nigel Robinson, which came out in 1981. Do watch till the end for a chance to win this very copy of the quiz book, complete with my annotations, plus a signed copy of my novel, The Last Days of Jack Sparks. You don't have to have the highest quiz score to win, but you do need to play. You know how the best quiz questions just have one simple answer because that makes the whole thing a lot easier? Well, this quiz book doesn't really do that, and so I've tried to choose 25 questions which have quite simple answers. So get a piece of paper ready to write down the answers to these questions if you can, because frankly they're quite tough. I have no idea how many of these questions I would have got right, probably embarrassingly few. The time has come for me to don my special Doctor Who quiz spectacles, aka my everyday spectacles. I am ready. Oh, there's a nice little introduction there from John Nathan Turner, who describes it as a joy to peruse. The first question is, I think, quite simple, so this will get us off to a good start. For countless centuries, the Sontarans have waged a bitter war against which other species? This is question one. Write down your answer. So, for countless centuries, the Sontarans have waged a bitter war against which other species? There is only one answer to this, thankfully. A nice closed question and answer. Lovely. Question two. In which adventure were the Doctor and his companions chased by clockwork soldiers? That's question two. In which adventure were the Doctor and his companions chased by clockwork soldiers? Write that down using your pen, pencil, crayon, or whichever writing implement you've chosen today. Question three. What was the cause of the plague, in quote marks, which was sweeping the planet of the Sensorites when the Doctor visited it? What was that plague caused by? The book is arranged into various sections, by the way. That's why the first three questions are from the adventures of the first Doctor. So we're kind of going through the Doctors in chronological order. And of course, because this book came out in 1981, we're going to be dealing with the first four Doctors only. I'd hoped that was implicit in the date the book came out, but, you know, just to make sure you're not expecting any Christopher Eccleston posers. Chapter 4. Yeah, Chapter 4. Sorry, I've just finished a proof of my novel Ghoster, and so I've got chapters on the brain. Question 4. Brett Vion was a member of the Space Security Service. Who killed him and why? I'll say that again. Brett Vion was a member of the Space Security Service. Who killed him and why? And Vion there, for your reference, is spelled V-Y-O-N. Googling, by the way, is strictly forbidden. If I see anybody Googling, you're out of my study. Question number 5. Immediately after the Doctor's first regeneration, which of his companions most suspected that he was not really the Doctor? Immediately after the Doctor's first regeneration, which of his companions most suspected that he was not really the Doctor? Answer that. Eh? Question 6. Why did the Crotons... I love this question. Why did the Crotons order that the Gonds, that's Gonds, G-O-N-D-S, should periodically send their two best scholars into the Dynatrope? Is this the most sci-fi / Doctor Who trivia question ever? Why did the Crotons order that the Gonds should periodically send their two best scholars into the Dinotrope? This is surely the finest quiz question of all time. Question 7 concerns your friends of mine, the Daleks, everyone's favourite conical foe. Why were the Daleks planning to explode a second neutron bomb when the first Doctor visited Skaro? There's a question for you. Question 7 again. Why were the Daleks planning to explode a second neutron bomb when the first Doctor visited Skaro? Yes, I can hear your pen nib working away nicely there. You obviously know that one. Question 8. Here's question 8. Why were the Silurians and the Sea Devils forced to retreat to their underground hibernation chambers? Why were the Silurians and the Sea Devils forced to retreat to their underground hibernation chambers? Okay, so that's question 8. Moving on to question 9. The Doctor and Sarah Jane saw the destruction of one of the 700 wonders of the universe. Which one? See, I don't know what that is. I can't remember that at all, quite frankly. So if you know it, then, well, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're better at Doctor Who trivia than me. I'm not the best, really, at storing facts and things. Right, we're on question 10 of 25. And we're on the 4th Doctor. Nice. The robots on board the Sand Miner were divided into 3 classes. What were they? And you're going to get a point for each in my arbitrarily designed point system, which I haven't quite settled on yet, but I will settle on it by the time I come to dish out the answers. Let's have that question again. The robots on board the Sand Miner were divided into 3 classes. What were they? That's what I'd like to know. Moving on to question 11. Are you ready? No, you can't go to the toilet. Sit down. What is the most dangerous addictive drug in the universe? And on which planet did Trist find it? So yeah, clearly 2 points up for grabs there. Let's have that question again. Question 11. What is the most dangerous addictive drug in the universe? And on which planet did Trist find it? For question 12, we're nipping back to the 1st Doctor again. On which planet did the Doctor visit an island in the middle of a sea of acid? On which planet did the Doctor visit an island in the middle of a sea of acid? That was question 12. We're over halfway through. I know, I don't want it to end either. I know exactly how you feel. Question 13, about the Cybermen. How do the Cybermen on the moon hope to destroy Earth in the year 2070? Again, that's potentially a question with more than just one answer, but we'll see how we do. Question 14. How did Salamander meet his death? Nice and simple there. Question 14. How did Salamander meet his death? I love how it doesn't even tell you which story we're talking about. It just refers to the character and it's up to you to know. Simple as that. Vicious. Moving on to question 15. And this section is called The Earth in Danger, which could be pretty much any Doctor Who story, really, couldn't it? Question 15 is, the giant robot planned to wipe out the human race because it was corrupt. What did it then intend to do? Settle down at the back there. Thank you. Let's have that question again. The giant robot planned to wipe out the human race because it was corrupt. What did it then intend to do? Question 16, coming at you. When the Doctor first met her, Sarah Jane Smith was impersonating Lavinia Smith. Who was Lavinia Smith? One more time. When the Doctor first met her, Sarah Jane Smith was impersonating Lavinia Smith. Who was Lavinia Smith? So that was question 16. And now we are flicking through to 17. How did the Daleks lose their war with the Venusian colonies in the space year 17,000? That's another gloriously sci-fi trivia question, isn't it? How did the Daleks lose their war with the Venusian colonies in the space year 17,000? question 18. This is one of my favourites as well. Who was known as the Butcher of Brisbane? Question 18 one more time. Who was known as the Butcher of Brisbane? On to question 19 now. Another classic, this one I think. Who are the Shobogans and where do they live? So 2 points up for grabs there. Lovely. What a bonus. Who are the Shobogans and where do they live? That was question 19, and now we're moving on to question 20. Why was Captain Mike Yates discharged from unit? Question 20 is why was Captain Yates discharged from unit? And a dark day it was too. What a dark day. Question 21 is eluding me. I'm sure I'll find it in a minute. Yes. Question 21 is this. In which adventure did the Cybermats make their first appearance? I think this is a relatively easy question, this one. I think I could probably get this myself, which is quite remarkable. In which adventure did the Cybermats make their first appearance? Question 21. Question 22 is this. When Styre, that's S-T-Y-R-E, when Styre landed on Earth, he found an uninhabited world. Why had Earth been evacuated? When Styre landed on Earth, he found an uninhabited world. Why had Earth been evacuated? Onwards. Are you still watching? Good. Oh, did you hear that? It's the quiz police coming for us. Question 23 is this. Kroll was the... You've got to love a question about Kroll, haven't you? Ah, Kroll. Kroll was the gigantic squid-like god of the swampies on Delta 3. How did he achieve his gigantic size? Is that the best question of the lot? I think it might be. How did Kroll achieve his gigantic size? Did he take special vitamins or maybe bulking powders and whatnot? It's up to you to find the answer. So that was question 23. How did Kroll, the gigantic squid-like god of the swampies on Delta 3, achieve his gigantic size? 2 questions left, just 2. So are you ready? 24 is as follows. And again, thank God, quite an easy one. So I don't want anyone getting 0 points like I probably would. That would be quite demoralising, wouldn't it? We can't have that. What was Doctor Who and the 7 Keys to Doomsday? Actually, I say that's easy, but most quiz questions are just something that you either know the answer to or you don't. It's not even particularly talent-based, is it? That's the thing with quizzes. Anyway, question 24. What was Doctor Who and the 7 Keys to Doomsday? What was it, in the name of all that's holy? And our delightful final question, question 25, is as follows. Who was the first producer of Doctor Who? Question 25. Who was the first producer of Doctor Who? Hopefully most of us will know that, so we can end on a nice note, feeling good about ourselves. So let's go through the answers now and see how many you got right. All right then, it's literally time to get some answers around here. And as you can probably tell, I'm not taking this incredibly seriously, but I am going to give you the answers and also tell you how many points you're going to get for each answer. So let's go through. Question 1. For countless centuries, the Sontarans have waged a bitter war against which other species? Now, even I know that's the Rutans, who were in one of my very favourite Doctor Who stories, The Horror of Fang Rock, which is probably my top 5. It has to be in my top 5, I think, The Horror of Fang Rock. What a story. On to question 2, which was, in which adventure were the Doctor and his companions chased by clockwork soldiers? That was The Mind Robber. Question 3, what was the cause of the plague which was sweeping the planet of the Sensorites when the Doctor visited it? And the answer to that is survivors from an Earth spaceship had contaminated the Sensorites' drinking water with deadly nightshade. See, that's quite a detailed answer. As long as you've got anything, as long as you've got nightshade in your answer, I think. In fact, because we're not taking this very seriously, I'll allow just straight up poison. I think that's fine. You know, the Sensorites water had been poisoned. That's all right. Okay, so question 4 was Brett Vian was a member of the Space Security Service. Who killed him and why? And that was his sister, Sarah Kingdom, for 1 point. And then for the second point, it was because she believed he was a traitor. That was a bit Partridge-like then, wasn't it? She believed he was a traitor. Question 5 was immediately after the Doctor's first regeneration, which of his companions most suspected that he was not really the Doctor? And the answer to that is Ben. See, occasionally this book does choose a question which has a nice, simple, one-syllable answer. And when it does, it's a joy, trust me. Question 6 was, why did the Crotons order that the Gonds should periodically send their 2 best scholars into the Dynatrope? Well, that's a good question. Let's remind ourselves of that. Obviously, I totally know. Because it was only high mental power which could reanimate them. Now, it's been a while since I saw the Crotons, and I have no idea what that means. So, if you believe you deserve a point, then, yeah, give it to yourself. You deserve it. Question 7 was, why were the Daleks planning to explode a second neutron bomb when the first Doctor visited Skaro? And that was because... See, this is probably the most broad-ranging answer of the lot of all these questions. They did it to destroy the Thal survivors on Skaro and to make life on Skaro more suitable for the Daleks, who had become accustomed to the radioactivity in the planet's atmosphere. Jesus. If you have either of those, yeah, to destroy the Thals and to make life on Skaro more suitable for the Daleks, then you get 1 point. Actually, if you got both of those, you get 2. If you have either, you get 1 for each. Oh, I'm such a hard taskmaster. Greg Davies is probably looking over his shoulder right now, I'll tell you. Question 8 was, why were the Silurians and Sea Devils forced to retreat to their underground hibernation chambers? It's because they believed that a rogue planet would take away Earth's atmosphere for a time. And I love this. In brackets here, in the answers section, it says, it did not, : the planet settled into orbit around Earth and became the Moon. There we go. Nice bit of extra trivia for you there. Question 9. The Doctor and Sarah Jane saw the destruction of one of the 700 wonders of the universe. Which one? And the answer is, of course, the city of the Exelons, as seen in Death to the Daleks. That's Death to the Daleks. That's one of the best serial titles ever, isn't it? That's just fantastic. And it nicely breaks that routine of something of the Daleks. Yeah, Death to the Daleks. That's fantastic. Right, question 10 was, the robots on board the Sand Miner were divided into 3 classes. What were they? And you get a point for each of these, because I'm feeling really generous. Dumbs, Vox, and a Super Voc. Simple as that. Question 11, another 2-parter. What is the most dangerous addictive drug in the universe, and on which planet did Trist find it? So the answer to the first part is Vrax, or Vraxoin, whichever you like. And the answer to the second part is that Trist found it on Eden, because of course this is referring to the story Nightmare of Eden. Oh, I used to love those mandrels, I tell you. Yeah, I was drawing pictures of mandrels and including them in comic strips. Nimons as well. Or is it Nimon? Nimoni? Not sure. Question 12 was, on which planet did the Doctor visit an island in the middle of a sea of acid? And that is Marinus. A big fan of the Keys of Marinus. It's a nice episodic, fun story, isn't it? And the Vord are really cool. Question 13 was, how did the Cybermen on the Moon hope to destroy Earth in the year 2070? The answer to that one, of course, is by using the gravitron to drastically alter the Earth's weather. So you get a point for, altering the Earth's weather. I don't really need gravitron, I don't think. As long as you've got anything to do with messing about with the Earth's weather, you get your point as far as I'm concerned. Question 14 was, how did Salamander meet his death? Well, he was ejected into time and space after trying to steal the TARDIS, which I think is fair enough. You know, let's make the punishment fit the crime. Off into time and space with you, sir. Question 15. The giant robot planned to wipe out the human race because it was corrupt. And what did it then intend to do? This is a funny answer, I like this. To create a race of machines similar to itself. I don't know why that amuses me. I think it's the similar to itself. That kind of tickles me a bit. Don't know. Suit yourself if it doesn't have the same effect on you. Question 16 was, when the Doctor first met Sarah Jane Smith, she was impersonating Lavinia Smith. Who was Lavinia Smith? Another amusing answer coming up. Sarah's aunt and a prominent virologist. So I think Sarah's aunt will do there. You're not going to get 2 points for Sarah's aunt and a prominent virologist. Just Sarah's aunt, 1 point. Question 17 was, how did the Daleks lose their war with the Venusian colonies in the space year 17,000? By the intervention of a fleet of rockets from the planet Hyperon. This is, of course, a reference to Genesis of the Daleks. We don't need the Hyperon bit, I think. They had a load of rockets fired at them. That'll do me for a point if you've got that. Something along those lines. Question 18 was, who was known as the Butcher of Brisbane? And that was Magnus Greel from the Talons of Weng Chiang. That's definitely an answer I knew, one of the few probably. And yeah, the way that Magnus Greel's past is described in Talons is just so evocative. It's really great. It really makes you feel like Greel has got a real backstory that stretches back, you know, centuries or something. Question 19 was, who are the Shibogans and where do they live? The Shibogans are Gallifreyans who have rejected the Time Lord way of life and live in the wastelands of Gallifrey, wearing animal skins and the like. It doesn't say that bit, I just added the animal skins on the end there. Number 20 was, why was Captain Mike Yates discharged from unit? And the answer is because of his involvement in Operation Golden Age. Whichever way you want to phrase that, that's fine, you know. If you've got Mike Yates was a traitor, then you get your point as far as I'm concerned. I don't want no trouble. We're all friends here, aren't we? Question 21 was, in which adventure did the Cybermats make their first appearance? And the answer to that is Tomb of the Cybermen. No messing about there. It's either one thing or the other. You've either got Tomb of the Cybermen or you haven't. Question 22. When Steyer landed on Earth, he found an uninhabited world. Why had Earth been evacuated? And the answer is solar flares. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. How did Kroll achieve his gigantic size, basically? And the wonderful answer to that is by swallowing the 5th segment of the key to time. Yeah. So if you want to bulk up a bit, simply get a segment of the key to time down you and you'll be bulking up in no time. You'll be exactly the size you want. Question 24 was, what was Doctor Who and the 7 Keys to Doomsday? And the answer goes into quite some detail. I mean, the short answer is it was a stage play, a Doctor Who stage play, and you get your point for that. But the actual answer in this quiz book is a 1974 Doctor Who stage play written by Terence Dicks and starring Trevor Martin as the Doctor and Wendy Padbury, who played Zoe in the TV series, as Jenny, one of his assistants. That's quite a long answer, isn't it, for a quiz book? You don't need that. It was a Doctor Who stage play, and that's what you get your point for. Lastly, 25 was the final question, and it was, who was the first producer of Doctor Who? And of course it was the lovely and much missed Verity Lambert. There we go. Done. How did you do? Get down there in comments and tell me how you did. I want to know your score. No lying now. I know what you like, eh? So in terms of who's going to win this exact copy of the quiz book and a signed copy of my novel, The Last Days of Jack Sparks. It's not going to be based on merit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you've really been hoping to get a really high score on this, but I can't base it on merit because obviously the scores are unverifiable. All you have to do to enter this competition is comment down there and tell me what score you got. Next weekend, I'm going to pick a random number and just choose one of you at random, and whoever gets chosen will win these items. Thanks so much for playing and watching this video till the end. I'm uploading videos every Sunday now, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and embrace your obsessions.
So is there something here that's always here